Hello, welcome to this Learn Scratch tutorial. Today we're going to be showing you how to make a whack-a-mole game. So let's get started. Here we are. I've created a new Scratch game and let's get rid of Scratch first of all. There we go. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to create ourselves a hammer and get our hammer moving around the screen. So let's create a new sprite and let's use a rectangle tool. I've used the solid one today. And let's do a dark grey top. There we go, nice dark grey top with a black handle. There we go. You can do a different colour if you want to, but that'll do me for the moment. There we go. So the dark grey top, nice handle. It's a little bit big, so let's make it a little bit smaller. Good stuff, and that's perfect. That's a perfect size. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the hammer to move around the screen with our mouse. Now, Scratch uses X and Y coordinates. X is across, so that will control how far across you are, and Y is up and down. You can see that because here are the coordinates here. If I move my mouse across, you can see as X goes bigger. If it moves it to the left, it gets smaller. And the same with the Y axis, which is up and down. If we do the Y up, it will go up. If we move our Y down, it will go down. The center is always 0, 0. So what we're just going to do here is we're going to say when we press start, then forever, because we want to keep checking and keep doing this, what we'll do is we'll go to X and Y coordinates, but those X and Y coordinates are going to be the mouse X and the mouse Y. There we go. So there you go, perfect. So here's my mouse, and whenever I move my mouse, it moves the hammer. Now, you can probably see my mouse is not quite in a perfect position because if I click now, if I'm going to click on one of the mole's heads, then it's going to click in the wrong place. So we just need to change that slightly. Go to the costume, let's click on center, and let's put the center about there, I reckon. Let's try that again. Yeah, so now if I click, wherever I click, it's going to hammer its head. Good, perfect, so that's the first part done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to right click, let's duplicate it, so we've got two costumes. This one is going to be hammer down, and the next one is going to be hammer up. So let's change this hammer up to up. Let's use the select tool, select around that hammer, go to this bit at the top here which controls it. There we go. Hammer down, hammer up. Where is our, if we double click, there he is, hammer down, hammer up, hammer down, hammer up. And hammer up is going to be our default one, so let's put that at the start, that's really the start of the game. Good. So now what we say is, there you go, when we press start, let's turn our costume to hammer up. So he's ready, hammer up, and let's do a forever loop. If, let's have a look, if the mouse is down, this controls the mouse click, the left mouse click. If the mouse is down, then let's change that costume. Switch the costume to hammer down, so hammer down, and then we'll wait until they let go of the hammer down. So the way we do that is saying let go of, sorry, wait until they let go of the mouse down. The way we do that is we use a not mouse down. So we're saying wait until it's not the mouse down. There we go, wait until not mouse down, and then let's switch that costume back to hammer up. There we go, so hammer up. So hopefully, let's try that. Yeah, the hammer's up, and if I click it, yeah, knock, 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 knock. Good. So now we've got a hammer that follows us around the screen, and whenever we hold the mouse button down, it hammers down, which is perfect. Good. Let's also just, you don't have to do this, but why don't we add that bit of a pop sound there, so that whenever we hammer it, there you go. That's not going to get annoying quickly at all. There we go, good. Okay, so we've got a hammer that hammers. Excellent, good. Now what we need to do is let's add a mole. Let's add a mole. So let's create a new sprite, and we'll use the circle first. Let's use a bit of a circle. There we go. And let's do his head like that. Top of his head like that. And once you've got the top of his head, nice little circle. Let's add some bits there. There we go. Just take your time on this, make sure you get it right. It always takes me a little while to get it right. Nice big mole. There you go. Excellent. So there's my mole. It's the wrong colour, so let's paint him brown. Brilliant. And let's give him some eyes, but let's use the vector mode. Let's click on convert to vector, which allows us to do some clever stuff, and we'll use the circles for eyes. We want white eyes. There we go. There's one eye. Good. Now don't click off, and if you hold Control, press Control C, Control V, you'll have another eye that's exactly the same size. Control C and Control V, they're cut and paste. They're pretty standard stuff. Good. Brilliant. So there's a circle. We've got two circles there. Now what we'll do is let's give him a mouth. Because moles need a mouth. And if we click on this one here, the reshape, then we can actually reshape our mouth to make a nice shape. Here we go. Just move these around there. There we go. Let's give him a weird, really weird smile. There we go. Let's have a look. That'll do. I'm actually previewing it here over on the left. It's a bit hard to see with the circles on the right, but if you notice when you move the circles on the right, it actually previews it on the left, so you can just make sure it's not a little bit weird. There we go. There we go. Out there. There we go. That'll do me. So there's my, and we'll click off that. Nope, that's not happening. Okay, good. So we got a smiley mouth there, and he's smiley, good stuff. Let's go back to bitmap. There we go. And oh no, let's go back to vector again. I've forgotten. Let's add some eyeballs. What are they called? Your pupils. That's what they're called. Oops. There's one. There's two. I actually forgot to press Control and C there, so I should have done that. There you go. So there's my crazy looking mole. Good. And we'll go back to bitmap mode. Good. So there you go. We've got a mole. Let's put him in the middle. In the middle of his face. There we go. Hey, excellent. Good stuff. There we go. And actually what we'll do this time is we'll put the middle of him down the bottom. This might make it a bit easier later. Good stuff. There you go. So the middle is going to be at the bottom. You'll see why in a minute. And so there's our first costume, but our mole is going to have to pop in and pop out. Now there's lots of different ways you could do this, but the way I'm going to do it is a nice easy way. All I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate his costume 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and then this one is going to be the head up one. That's going to be where it's almost completely down. So what we'll do each time round is we'll click on that. And let's just take off a bit of his head. Select all, select a bit at the bottom, press the delete button on your keyboard, and that'll delete a bit. Let's click onto that one, and then let's delete a bit more, and let's click onto that one there, and then let's delete a bit more, pressing delete again. So now what we've got here is it goes do 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 do. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So that's the full one. That's it, almost gone. We're not going to create another costume that is invisible because what we'll do is we'll just hide him instead. But what we will do is, there, if we set the bottom of that to there, and hopefully now if we set the bottom, you go there, set the bottom of there, you go there, set the bottom of there, just make sure it's in the middle, and now hopefully, let's have a look if he pops into existence. Yay! Just you can see he's sort of moving to the side a little bit. You can just adjust him so it works right. But that'll do me for the moment. Good. Excellent. Good. Perfect. So now we've got a mole that can pop up and pop down. Brilliant, which is just what we need. So let's get him, before we move on and actually start programming the game, let's just test that. So what we'll do is, let's have a look at the start of the game. Let's hide him. There we go. Hide. And let's wait. We'll just wait a random amount of seconds, somewhere between 1 and 5 seconds. There we go. So, and then what we'll do is we will do this. Switch to costume. Oh, if that will put him on costume. Switch to costume 1. There we go. Switch to costume 1. Wait a little amount of time. Oh, we better show, haven't we? Show. There we go. Oops. That's no good. We wait right. So at the start of the game, we hide. Wait a random amount of seconds between 1 and 5. and then we show. Better turn that to costume 1 before we show. Now we wait 0.1 seconds, switch through to costume number 2. There we go. Wait another 0.1 seconds, switch to costume 3. Wait another 0.1 seconds, switch to costume number 4. So hopefully now, if we press start, wait a random amount of seconds, and then he pops up. Let's try that again. Good, perfect, that'll do. It's a little bit big, we'll make it a bit smaller. There we go, so let's try that again. Wait a random amount of seconds, and it pops up. Good, so there we go. That's perfect. Now, we're going to have to make it pop up throughout the game. So what we could do, of course, is we could just duplicate this bit of script here and start putting it in anywhere where we want it. If we need it over here or here or here, anytime we want him to pop up, we could just keep duplicating that script. But what's going to happen is your Scratch game is going to get pretty messy. It's going to get pretty messy. So what we could do is we're going to do something. We're going to create our own block. This is known as creating a function. You don't need to know that, but there you go. And let's call it mole up. Mole up. There we go. And now what we've got is we've got two parts. We've got the bit where we define it, and that's where we tell the computer what to happen, what we want to happen when we run that code. So let's have a look. And that's this bit here, really. So whenever we say mole up, what we want to do is switch to costume 1, show, and then go through those costumes. There we go. And now what we do is, after we've defined it, we can say, okay, wait around 9 seconds, and pop your mole up. There we go. Good. And let's make another block, and let's call this mole down. There we go. So we've got another mole down function. Good. And we're going to do exactly the same, but in reverse. So go to costume 4, which is the head one. Oh, we're already on costume 4, we should be, so we don't need that one. So what we need to do here is when we press mole down, we switch to costume number 3, wait 0.1 seconds, switch to costume 2, wait 0.1 seconds, switch to costume 1, wait 0.1 second, and then finally we hide. There we go. Good. So hopefully that will work. So now we've got two definitions, one called mole up, one called mole down, and we've run the mole up. So what we'll do now is let's see if that works. So we're going to change this later on, but let's just test this. So hopefully it'll wait a random amount of seconds, pop up. Good. Then wait a random amount of seconds and then pop back down. Hey, perfect. Good. Let's try. Let's run that one last time. It's always really important when you're making games just to test things out a little bit at a time, and that's why I've run this bit of testing code here. Perfect. Good. So we've got a mole now, and the mole will pop up and he will pop down. So at the start of the game, we hide him, wait around amount of seconds, and then pop him up. Good. But when do we want him to go down? Well, we want him to go down when our hammer hits him, really. So what we need to do here is we need to do something a little bit clever. Here, when the hammer, just after he switches costume to hammer down, before it waits, we need to broadcast a message. And we're going to call this message whack. Because what happens is we change the costume and then we whack that costume down. They whack that hammer down. So now, anytime our hammer's down, it will broadcast whack. There we go. But interestingly, it'll only whack once, because here it'll whack and it'll wait. So it'll broadcast the message once, wait until you stop pressing the mouse, then it'll go back up, and only then a second time will it start to whack again. And that's really important, because otherwise, if we didn't have that, anytime you held the mouse down, you could just keep the mouse held down and move around the screen and sort of cheat, and that would hammer down. But we don't want that. So what we need to say now is the mole, when I receive whack, if I am touching, let's have a look, if we're touching sprite 1, Now this is where things are getting a bit confusing. Sprite 1, Sprite 2, they're not sensible names. So let's call that Hammer. Hammer Sprite. Good. Let's call this Mole Sprite. There we go. Hammer Sprite, Mole Sprite. So now, whack. When I receive whack, if I'm touching the Hammer Sprite, so if those two are touching, then we can broadcast mole down. We can move our mole down. We don't have to wait a random amount of time now. So hopefully, let's have a go at this. Let's see if that works. He moves up, I whack him, and he moves that down. Perfect. Good. So he's getting whacked, and when he gets whacked, he goes back down. Good. And all we need to say now is after we've been whacked, let's wait another random amount of time. Wait random from 0 to 5 seconds. There we go. And then we'll come back up. There we go. And this is the advantage of using these functions over here, is that our code is much easier to read. Much easier. Much shorter. So let's try that. Let's have a look. Wait 5 seconds. He pops up. We hit him. He goes back down. Waits a random amount of time. Pops back up. Perfect. Excellent. Good. So, brilliant. When I receive whack, let's put him back down. Good stuff. Which is great. But now what we need to do is, we've got on whacking up and down. We could duplicate our moles at this point and add some more, but there's a little bit more code we've got to do. First of all, let's create a variable and let's call it score. There we go, score. Good. And the score, we're going to make it for all sprites because it's going to be a global score for the game. Every time you whack a sprite, let's change the score by 1. There we go. So that means your score will go up. Of course, in order to do that, we also need to, at the start of the game, let's do this on the hammer, set the score to 0. Good. So let's have a go at that. When start pressed, whack. Oh. Did that work? Good. Whack. Perfect. And as you can see, the score's going back up. Let's try that again. Just make sure it's all working right. Whack. Whack. Good. Now you notice my hammer's gone behind the mole. If you just look, you'll see the hammer's actually gone behind the mole there. That's no good. We want it in front of the mole. So what we need to say to our hammer here is, looks at the start of the game, bring my hammer right to the front. Let's have a look. Let's see if that works now. There you go, he's in front of it. Oh, why did he go down there? I don't know what happened there. A bit of a glitch there. There we go. Perfect. Let's stop that. Good. 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 Perfect, perfect, perfect. Oh, maybe it's because I stopped the game and he wasn't hidden. Yeah. Okay. So here's our mole. Good stuff. He pops up and down and we can whack him. Good. And we get points if we whack him. Good. There's only one more thing that we need to do really, and that is that we need to give a certain number of lives in the game. So let's have a certain number of lives in the game. Create a new variable, lives, and that's going to be for all sprites. There we go, because they all want to be able to change those lives. There we go. Each player has a certain number of lives. At the start of the game, let's set our lives to 3. There we go. And how are we going to lose lives? Well, if you're not paying attention and your mole comes up, let's bring you up. If you're not paying attention and your mole comes up, then if you don't whack the mole in a certain amount of time, so let's say 20 seconds, is it 20 seconds? Let's try 20 seconds. Then we want the mole to deduct one of your lives, maybe flash or something, I don't know, and then pop back down, and then your lives are going to decrease. So what we need to say here is, there we are, there's our mole up. Because this controls when he's popped up, what we can say here is, at the end of moles popping up, what we'll do is repeat 10 times, wait 1 second. 10 times 1 is 10 seconds. So we'll wait 10 seconds, and then after that 10 seconds, let's change the lives by -1. Change the lives by -1, and let's say, for our mole, let's just say, ha ha. Ha. Ha ha. There we go. Good. Brilliant. Change lives by -1, and so if we wait 10 seconds, if after the 10 seconds we change the lives by 1, we say ha ha and mole down. But that's brilliant. That is brilliant. So we'll do that. But there's a problem now in that whenever we run mole up, like at the start of the game or here when we receive whack, anytime at the moment, it doesn't matter if you hit him. This will still run again. So let me show you what you're about to see if I press start. What's going to happen is if I whack him, there you go, he goes goodbye. Let's whack him again. Whack him again, good stuff. And there we go. Oh, in fact I've changed this, we changed my lives by -1, not by 1. But you'll notice here, even if I do whack him, his lives are going to change. Let's just try that again. Let's just press that again. Now he's not saying ha ha. Whack him again, but you'll see the lives are still changing. Let's have a look. If we just keep attacking him, even though we keep knocking him down, those lives will, there it is, you can see it there. The lives are still going down. The reason being is that even though he hides here, after we've done the mole down, this mole up script here is still running. It's still running, which is no good. That's no good. What we need to do is we need to say, there we go, we need to say whenever he's whacked, we need to stop this script. So there's lots of complicated ways of doing it, but a good cheating way here is we'll say whenever, before we do mole down, let's just put it just before there. Oops. Oh, that's not, oh, it won't let me do it. Okay. Let's have a look. Whenever we receive mole down, there we go. Stop all the scripts. There you go. It wouldn't let me do. It wouldn't let me put it in there because it says stop all, which means it's going to be at the end. It won't let me put one after it. So, but we only want to stop the other scripts in this sprite because we want to stop that one. This one won't run yet because we're going to stop. This script here won't actually. This script here won't run yet because we're going to stop the other scripts, which will stop this one, and then that will run. So hopefully now this will work. Score 0, lives 3, good stuff. If you whack him, let's see what happens. He comes back up, let's whack him. He comes back up, let's whack him again. Okay, so that's working. It's been about 10 seconds and the lives still haven't changed, which is good. So now let's wait 10 seconds, we don't whack him. And hopefully, there we go, ha ha. And then he'll go back down. He'll disappear. Good. Excellent. And our lives have gone down. Good. So the functionality of the game is just about there, which is great. We've got our moles. We've got, well, one mole anyway, and a hammer. Now, we're going to make some more moles in a second, but before we make some more moles, let's have a go at making our stage. So, there we go. What we're going to do is we'll click on the select tool there, and about there. Let's fill with colour. Oh, well, it's not working. Let's try with that one. Click on the green. Let's have a nice green. There we go. And we're going to have the gradient. There's our green gradient there. It's the wrong way up for what I want it, so I'm going to flip it upside down, which means it's dark green at the bottom, light at the top. And there we go. That's perfect. But what I'm going to do is at the top here, there we go, that top, is that about there? Maybe a little bit further, oops, let's undo that. And undo that again. Let's go back. I don't know why that's done that. Let's try, we'll have to do that over again, that's a shame. Let's just delete that. Delete. There we go. Let's delete that bit as well. Let's try that again. So there we go. Flip it. Good stuff. And about there. There we go. About there. And what we'll do is we'll delete. That top bit's deleted. I've noticed there's a little bit left there. I'm not too worried, but let's select that as well and delete that bit. And then I'll just paste. Let's do a nice blue sky. Oops, didn't really want that. Let's undo that. Let's do a solid blue sky. Hey, there you go. You could do a solid sky, a two-tone sky, whatever you want to do. Put some clouds in the sky, whatever you want. That's all good. So there we go. Let's just click off that. Save the changes. Where's my mole? There he is. There we go. Now I want to move my mole around, but he's hidden at the moment. So I'm going to create a temporary bit of code. Let's just switch to costume 4. Double click on the show, and that'll show him. And now what I could do is I could put my moles where I want them. But should we have some holes in the floor before we do that? Let's do some nice holes. There we go. And let's put some holes for the moles. One there. Copy and paste. One there. About there. Paste. One there. Paste. One there. I'll make these a bit smaller as we get further up. We'll paste that there. Let's make that a bit smaller there. Paste. Let's get that there. There we go. And paste. Put another one there. There we go. Paste. And another one there. There we go. Perfect. There you go. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mole holes there. Should we add another one on the right hand side? Yeah, why not? Let's just do one more on the right there. Maybe move it about there or something. About there. There we go. So here's my mole. He's going to be on the front. Good stuff. Let's duplicate it. Let's have him there. Let's duplicate. Let's have him here. Duplicate. There we go. Duplicate. There we go. Duplicate. Duplicate. Lots of moles. Moles everywhere. There we go. Duplicate. Oops. There he is. Good. And to make it look like they're further away, let's make the ones at the back smaller. Kind of makes your game a bit harder as well, actually. These ones at the back are a little bit harder, aren't they? There we go. Oh. Duplicate. There you go. Give these ones could be 2 clicks smaller. 1, 2. 1, 2. There we go. And now, hopefully, oh, we've not saved our name, but should we? Whack our mole. And now if we run, whoa, brilliant. Whoa. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Brilliant. Perfect. So as you notice there's probably a slight glitch in the game in that they all appear straight away. So let's go from 1 to 15 seconds, shall we? There we are. 1 to 15. You can adjust this however you want your game to be. Let's have a look. 1 to 15. 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 Let's have a look. Yeah, so 1 to 5 was a little bit ambitious, wasn't it? Ambitious. Maybe 1 to 15 might be better. Could it? Or 1 to 30, I don't know. There we go. Let's have a go. So, whack, 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 whack. I don't know why they all popped up straight away. Whack, 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 whack. Excellent. Okay, good stuff. Let's have a look. Good. Now, here's another thing. Let's just do... Whilst we're still developing our game, we might have to debug it and make sure things are all in the right place. So what we'll do there is we'll create a thing called debug. When I receive debug, show and switch to costume 4. There we go. And let's just copy that over there. Let's put all that in, all of those there. This way, if we need to debug the program whilst we're making it, then we can show all of them at once. There we go. There we go. And we'll just do broadcast debug. There we go. So now I can see where things are in the wrong place. I've moved them. Hopefully, can drag in player. That's okay. So the reason it was letting me drag them is because we're in this development screen, but when we actually do the proper game, it won't let them drag, which is good. We'll have a look at that in a bit. Perfect. So that's looking good. Good, 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 good. That's okay. Excellent. What we do need to do now is, let's go onto our stage. When start pressed, let's do backdrop 1, which is game screen. Game screen. Good stuff. When batch there, game screen. At the start of the game, switch to game screen. And there we go. When I receive new message, game over. I receive game over. Let's create a new one. Let's call it game over. You can do a better job, I'm sure. But I'll just do game over. Let's move it over there. There we go, game over. Good. So, when we receive game over, let's switch to backdrop. Oh, that's backdrop 1. Let's change that. Give it a sensible name. Game over. Game over. When I receive to game over, switch to backdrop game over. Good stuff. Excellent. And also these sprites here, we can say when I receive game over, hide. That way, when you switch to the game over screen, all the moles aren't in front of the game over sign. There we go. Good. So, but when do we receive game over? Well, let's have a look. Here we go. Change lives by -1. So here's a sensible place, isn't it? In fact, actually, we could do it in there, but then I realised we'll have to copy that to all of the scripts. Let's just do it here in the main game over screen. At the start of the game, it's easy enough. Put a loop, forever loop. If our lives, where's our lives? If lives equals 0, if lives equals 0, 0, then broadcast game over, and then stop all scripts. Stop all. Let's try that now. So sprites pop up. Let's leave that. See what happens. Ha ha. Game over. There we go. Perfect. Good. Now the moles here, let's have a look. Okay, so some of our moles are still appearing a little bit soon. Oh, there we go. Some of our moles are still appearing a little bit soon. So what we'll do is we'll change that to 15, so they pop back up in 15 seconds. And there we go. Let's change that one there. What we'll do is each one of these moles here, he can start within 1 second. He can start, let's just move that out of the way. He can start 2 seconds in, a minimum of 2 seconds. He can start a minimum of 3 seconds in. He can start a minimum of 4 seconds in. He can start a minimum of 5. He can start a minimum of 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's try that now. Hopefully that will work. Start of the game. Whack, 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 whack. There we go. So that's the scores going up, which is great. Excellent. There we go. There we go, and we can keep going. So that seems to be working okay. It's a bit glitchy, but to find out what's happening there. Oops, let's stop all our scores. There we go, let's stop that there. Good. So how can we make this harder? Well, the best way to make it harder would be to reduce each time round, reduce the time. You could either do it where it reduces the time that you've got. So round 2 only gives you 9, round 3 only gives you 8, round 4 only gives you 7, etc., etc. So that'll be one way of doing it. We could do that way. The best way to do this is we could create a variable, call it level. There we go. And at the start of the game, oops, let's leave that there. Let's do it on the hammer. At the start of the game, let's set the level to level 1. Or level 1. There we go. And we can actually change this so that, here we are, let's have a look. Repeat. Let's have a look. Let's say, how about repeat 10. Instead of saying repeat 10 times, wait 1 second, why don't we do, let's do a minus, and this time for each one you could swap them, and we'll do repeat 10 seconds, that's going to wait 10 seconds, minus the level. So if it's on level 1, it's going to be 10 minus 1, which is 9. If it's on level 2, it's going to be 10 minus 2, which will be 8. If it's on level 3, it's 10 minus 3, which is 7. So it's going to, the amount of time you've got to whack them is going to reduce each time. It's going to get harder and harder and harder until you lose. Okay, so here we go. So we need to change that there. Let's just duplicate that. Let's pop that in there. Where'd that come here? And we'll just pop that in there. We have to do that for each one. Let's duplicate that a little bit again. Oops, let's stop. Let's duplicate that again. Let's pop it to number 3. In fact, let's just sort of cheat a bit. Good. There we go. There's that one there. There. Oh. That's broken a bit. 10. That's already done. That one's broken again. Yeah. good. There we go. Excellent. So how are we going to keep track of what level it's on? How are we going to change the level? Well, what we could do is we will do a counter. Let's have a look. Change score by. Let's change score by 1. Okay. What we'll do is we'll keep counts. Let's have a look. There we go. And so forever, if lives equals 0, that's okay there. We could do another one. We can say, here we go. If let's have a look. Let's say that each time you get a score, if it goes up a bit, let's do, this is probably the easiest way of doing it. There we go. If the score is greater than 100, oh, let's do 50. Then set level to 2. There we go. Let's just duplicate that. 100. That's probably the easiest way to do it, isn't it? It's a nice easy way. It's probably not the most efficient way, but 200, 150 maybe? 150, level 4, 200, level 5. You can adjust these numbers. Let's have a look. 300, level 6, 400, level 7, and level 8. There you go. Let's have a look. Let's try that now. So let's keep an eye on that level. Hopefully when it gets over 50, there we go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. We've got an issue actually, I just realised. Is at that level, if it's over, let's do it to equals. Now, greater than is an issue, because if it's greater than 50, it'll set the level to 2. No, it should set it up, hopefully, because it gets to the bottom. Let's have a look. Well, we've got a problem is it keeps resetting. If it's greater than 50, it'll keep resetting here. So what we'll need to do instead is, let's just say if it equals 50, we'll set it to 2. So as soon as we'll set it on that mark, you'll have to do this for equals 50. Oops. Let's duplicate that. Duplicate that. Duplicate. Yeah. So if the level equals 50, then do that. If the level so if score equals 50. There we go. Let's just move all of those out. There we go. Move all of those out there. And duplicate. 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 Got 4 to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's just set those. Now, if you notice there, my score was going up, but you probably don't want to do this in the real version. But to debug it, let's just use some smaller numbers. So, because otherwise, it's going to take all day to get to 100. 40, 50, 60, 70. I don't think I'll get to 80, but let's have a go. 80, there we go. Let's go. Whack, 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 whack. Keep an eye on that level. Let's see as we get above whatever number, see if it goes above it. Let's have a look above 20. Whack, whack, whack. Whack, whack. Whack, whack, whack. We're 18, so hopefully now. There we go. Oh, it's up to level 3, I don't know why. Let's just stop there. Let's have a look at that. Set itself to level 3. Oh, yeah, level 2. If score is 10, it's level 2. 20 is level 3. Okay, let's just try that again. 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There you go. So it's got to level 2. Good. Okay, let's try that. In fact, let's just go on that debug. Let's move them back into their proper places and let's try it on the proper screen. And that should be perfect. Let's have a go. 1, 2, 3, 4. He needs moving. He needs moving at the back. Level 2. Let's have a look. That seems to be okay. Let's see what happens now if I leave him for a second. They should now, with level being 4. Oh. Now we've got a slight glitch there where it dropped down to -5 before it triggered it. So, let's stop there a minute. If lives, okay. If lives equals 0, broadcast game over, stop all. What happened there is it went from somewhere in here, it went from 1 to -1 too quickly before it got back through to the script. So we just need to be careful of that. And let's say if our lives are less than 1, because obviously if it's -1, 2, -3, 4, 5, whatever, then that'll work. Let's try that instead. Here we go. See if that works this time. 3, 2, 1, game over. There we go. Perfect. And my hammer's still there, so let's hide the hammer as well. When we receive game over, when we receive game over, hide. Of course, that's all very well and good, but it does mean that when we press start, we'll have to show. Let's try that again. There we go, game over. Perfect. So, that's all done, that's fine, that's perfect, let's leave that there. You can either show the level or you can hide it. I think I'll probably hide my level, which is okay. Lives you want to show, score you want to show. Improvements, you could add some music so that each level, as the level changes, the music gets a little bit more tense. A little hint to the user. Every time that you miss a mole, it might make a sound. That's a good idea. A scoreboard, that would be a good idea, using cloud variables. We're not going to look into that. But there's some idea. Okie doke. Have fun.